California experienced a series of earthquakes recently. These earthquakes were centered near Bakersfield. While not as powerful as some historical events, they served as a stark reminder. California is earthquake country. The recent tremors caused concern among residents. They highlighted the ever-present seismic threat in the region. These quakes, though moderate in magnitude, were widely felt. They caused minor damage in some areas. This event underscores the importance of earthquake preparedness. It's a crucial aspect of life for all Californians. These recent events serve as a reminder. We live in a seismically active region. Understanding the science behind earthquakes is important. Earthquakes are natural phenomena that have fascinated and terrified humans for centuries. They are sudden, often unpredictable, and can cause significant damage and loss of life. By studying the science behind them, we can better prepare for and mitigate their effects. So is knowing how to stay safe during and after a quake. Earthquake preparedness involves understanding the risks, having a plan, and knowing what to do when the ground starts shaking. Practicing safety drills and having emergency supplies can make a big difference in survival and recovery. The Earth's outer layer, or crust, isn't one solid piece. It's a complex structure made up of different types of rocks and minerals. This crust is divided into several sections that fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. It's broken into several large pieces called tectonic plates. These plates cover the entire surface of the Earth and are constantly interacting with each other. These plates are constantly moving, albeit very slowly. They move at a rate of a few centimeters per year, which is about the same speed at which your fingernails grow. Think of them like giant puzzle pieces floating on a sea of molten rock. This molten rock, or magma, is found beneath the Earth's crust in a layer called the mantle. Where these plates meet, there are huge amounts of pressure and friction. These boundaries are known as fault lines, and they are the sites of most earthquakes. Sometimes this pressure builds up and is suddenly released. When the stress on the edge overcomes the friction, there is an earthquake that releases energy in the form of seismic waves. This release of energy causes the ground to shake, resulting in what we call an earthquake. The intensity of the shaking can vary greatly depending on the amount of energy released and the distance from the epicenter. The point where the earthquake originates underground is called the focus. This is the exact location where the rocks start to fracture and slip. The point directly above it on the surface is the epicenter. This is often the location where the shaking is felt most strongly and where the most damage occurs. The magnitude of an earthquake is a measure of the energy released. It is a logarithmic scale, meaning each whole number increase on the scale represents a 10-fold increase in measured amplitude and roughly 31.6 times more energy release. It's measured on the Richter scale. Developed in 1935 by Charles F. Richter, this scale has been instrumental in helping scientists and the public understand the power and potential impact of earthquakes. One of the most famous plate boundaries in the world is the San Andreas Fault. This geological marvel has captured the attention of scientists and the public alike for its dramatic role in shaping the landscape of California. This fault, which runs for over 800 miles through California, marks the boundary between the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate. Stretching from the Salton Sea in the south to Cape Mendocino in the north, it is a defining feature of the Golden State. The Pacific Plate is moving northwestward relative to the North American Plate, creating enormous stress along the fault line. This relentless movement is a slow but powerful force, constantly reshaping the Earth beneath our feet. The San Andreas Fault is responsible for some of the most powerful earthquakes in California's history. These seismic events have left indelible marks on the state's history and infrastructure. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake, which devastated the city, was caused by a rupture along this fault. The quake and the subsequent fires resulted in one of the most catastrophic urban disasters in American history. The fault is divided into segments, each capable of generating powerful earthquakes. These segments behave differently, with some being more active than others, adding complexity to the fault's behavior. Scientists know that the San Andreas Fault is capable of producing a big one. This term refers to a massive earthquake that could have far-reaching impacts. This hypothetical earthquake could have a magnitude of 8.0 or greater. Such a powerful quake would release immense energy, shaking the ground violently and causing widespread destruction. Such an event would have catastrophic consequences for the entire state. Buildings, roads, and bridges could be severely damaged, and the economic impact would be profound. Emergency services would be stretched to their limits, and the recovery process could take years, if not decades. Despite the looming threat, Californians are taking steps to prepare. Community drills, improved building codes, and public awareness campaigns are all part of the effort to mitigate the impact of the next big earthquake. While the San Andreas Fault remains a source of anxiety, it also serves as a reminder of the resilience and determination of those who live in its shadow. While scientists can't predict exactly when an earthquake will occur, they can estimate the probability of a major earthquake happening in a particular area over a certain period. The U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, uses various data sources, including historical earthquake records, geological mapping, and GPS measurements of plate movement, to develop these forecasts. According to the USGS, there is a high probability of a major earthquake occurring along the San Andreas Fault in the next 30 years. While these forecasts are not predictions, they highlight the very real threat that earthquakes pose to California. Section 5. When the earth shakes impacts on infrastructure. A major earthquake in Southern California would have a devastating impact on infrastructure. Buildings, roads, bridges, and other structures would be severely damaged or destroyed. The region's water systems, power grids, and communication networks would likely be disrupted. The economic impact of a major earthquake would be enormous. Businesses would be forced to close, homes would be uninhabitable, and the cost of rebuilding would be astronomical. The human cost, in terms of lives lost and injuries sustained, would be immeasurable. Section 6. Expert opinions, voices from the field. Earthquake experts like Dr. Kate Scharer, a USGS research geologist, emphasize the importance of preparedness. We know that earthquakes are inevitable in California, she says. It's not a matter of if, but when. The best way to minimize the impact of an earthquake is to be prepared. Dr. Hough, a seismologist at the USGS, agrees. We've learned a lot from past earthquakes, she says. We know what kind of damage they can cause, and we know what steps we can take to mitigate that damage. Section 7. Echoes of the past. Historical earthquakes in California. California has a long and well-documented history of earthquakes. The 1857 Fort Tejon earthquake, with an estimated magnitude of 7.9, ruptured a 220-mile segment of the San Andreas Fault. This earthquake was felt as far away as Las Vegas. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake, with an estimated magnitude of 7.8, remains one of the most significant earthquakes in U.S. history. The earthquake and subsequent fire destroyed much of the city and left an estimated 3,000 people dead. These historical events serve as stark reminders of the destructive power of earthquakes and the importance of preparedness. Section 8. The Big One, a looming threat. The Big One is a hypothetical earthquake of magnitude 8.0 or greater that is expected to occur along the San Andreas Fault. Scientists believe that the southern San Andreas Fault is most overdue for a major earthquake. While the exact impact of the Big One is unknown, it is expected to be catastrophic. Widespread damage, loss of life, and economic disruption are all anticipated. The Big One is not a matter of if, but when. Section 9. Preparing for the inevitable. Staying safe in earthquake country. Living in an area prone to earthquakes means that you must always be prepared for the unexpected. Earthquakes can strike without warning, and the best way to protect yourself and your loved ones is to have a solid plan in place. Living in earthquake country requires a certain level of preparedness. It's not just about having a plan, but also about ensuring that everyone in your household knows what to do when the ground starts shaking. Communication and practice are key. Here are some steps you can take to protect yourself and your loved ones. Create a disaster plan. This plan should be comprehensive and cover various scenarios that might occur during and after an earthquake. Develop a plan with your family or roommates that outlines what to do in case of an earthquake. Make sure everyone is involved in the planning process so that they understand their roles and responsibilities. Identify safe spots in your home, such as under sturdy furniture or against interior walls, away from windows and heavy objects that could fall. Establish meeting points both inside and outside your home, and make sure everyone knows how to contact each other if separated. Secure your home. Secure heavy objects that could fall and cause injury during an earthquake. This includes not only bookshelves but also large appliances, televisions, and other heavy items that could become hazardous. This includes bookshelves, mirrors, and light fixtures. Make sure that these items are properly anchored to the walls to prevent them from toppling over during a quake. Prepare an emergency kit. Assemble a kit that includes water, non-perishable food, a first aid kit, a flashlight, a radio, and other essential items. Your emergency kit should be easily accessible and everyone in your household should know where it is stored. Learn CPR and first aid. These skills can be invaluable in the immediate aftermath of an earthquake when medical help might not be readily available. Knowing how to administer first aid and CPR can be life-saving in the aftermath of an earthquake. Consider taking a certified course to ensure you are well prepared. Stay informed about earthquake preparedness by visiting the websites of organizations like the USGS and the American Red Cross. These resources provide valuable information on how to prepare for and respond to earthquakes. By taking these steps, you can help ensure your safety and the safety of your loved ones in the event of an earthquake. Regularly review and update your emergency plan and kit to make sure they are current and effective. Remember, preparedness is key to resilience in earthquake country. The more prepared you are, the better you can handle the challenges that come with living in an earthquake-prone area. Practice your plan regularly, stay informed, and always be